In this genre and for this band, the bass is like the lead guitar. It's almost like a guitar player listening to a Van Halen song for the first time. It's like, where do you start? You could stop every 3 bars and find something cool Eddie Van Halen did. This is like that for the bass. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Lone University. Today we're getting to Jamiroquai, a band full of the filthiest, funkiest, groovy bass lines I've ever heard. A friend turned me on to the Rock Dust Light Star album many years ago, and I was absolutely infatuated with what I heard. I've gotten some requests for the track Space Cowboy, which is from their second album, The Return of the Space Cowboy, released in 1994. So I'm excited to check it out and get into it. I believe Stuart Zender was the bass player at this time. That's what I read and thought I knew, but now I'm kind of reading it wasn't. It was somebody named Mr. X. I didn't read too much further into it, aside a couple articles citing the mystique behind it, so maybe you guys know. Space Cowboy, Jamiroquai. Let's do it.
Everything is good and round. I'm here again.
So smooth, man. Filthy. I love that really vintage, just dry, funky, just burnt kind of funk tone that makes all those octaves really pop out. And the first thing I'm going to say is that all of the tones, everything from the synth pad, the mixing, it's just kind of dry and airy sounding. This is such an appropriate bass tone for this sound. You know, if this bass tone came in with like a distortion or like a little bit of fuzz or grit, your shoulders would kind of go up a little bit. You'd kind of squint your eyes and go. But when I heard that bass tone come in, it was smooth, just as smooth as that intro with the synth. I went, something about it is just very relaxing. There's a lot of art and mastery behind getting those sounds to all package into something that can just make you feel that way. That's the immediate response I had, is I just kind of felt relaxed. There's already some classic Jamiroquai funky goodness going on. I'm excited to dive in and keep listening, but I just had to say that. It's just a really good vibe so far.
At the speed of Cheever, you and I gone deeper. Maybe I'm gonna have to get high just to get by.
Okay.
Now you know I got that Cheever.
Sounds like we're in E flat.
Cowboy vibe.
Minor. A flat.
Everything is good. I am green. Say I'm red again. And I don't suppose I'm coming.
The thing that's actually catching me as much as the bass is the way those hi-hats are just going. They're just catching all the little nuances in the bass. I mean, it sounds like it could be so improvised the way whoever this bass player is. I think it's Stuart. I don't know. I just read Mr. X. I don't know much about it. Please let me know if you know. So I'm just going to say the bass player for this video. All the little nuances and catches on the E's and the U's, the hi-hats are catching it too, and it's something that could be improvised, but this feels such locked in with the way the fills are happening. Makes me think it's all orchestrated. And again, as I say in a lot of videos, if it's improvised, if it's orchestrated, it's equally as impressive. But I just love the variation going on. I think overall, we're kind of in the key of B flat. Sounds like we're going. So E flat minor is sort of really nice. I love the flat sounding keys, the way they sound to me as someone with perfect pitch. It just kind of, I love the way the color of those keys sound, just very smooth sounding, which aids in the whole vibe of the song so far. Listen to that hi-hat. It's just so tight in pocket. E flat, F, B flat. In the speed of cheaper, how we're gone deeper. You and I, hey, oh, now this is the return of this space. Every bar the bass feels changing. I mean, so far, this song is just proving to be like a dictionary of all the possible bass fills you could do at this tempo and this key. I mean, he's all over the place. He's never losing that the theme of the dun 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 dun, rip it, dun, catching that E. Sounds like the E of 3 and dun dun dun. Really love it. I mean, so many. I could break down every bass fill. I feel like this video would be 4 hours, but so much variation, and he's sticking with the same feel. It's kind of got a variation on different notes and rhythms, all within this same position so far. It's really. And again, that hi-hat's just grabbing them all with him. Ooh. That little mix of the long notes, just changing those accents can kind of make the tail end of that bass fill just kind of leave you with like a fizzle of like rhythmic tight pocket. Long. The mixing, very important to mix long notes and short notes like that, any sort of phrase. It just adds a lot of dimension, makes it a little bit more lyrical, kind of like a vocal performance. You got long notes, you got short notes, you got rhythm. Bass parts can be the same way. You can kind of hear it right here. I want to hear that little fill again. I don't know if I'm quite on those notes, but close. Upbeats, catching those filthy upbeats. Dun, 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 dun. Ooh, I kind of heard that one. Again, all these bass fills just have a different, like, mini melody in them. It's just very lyrical, the way he's phrasing them. I just love it. It's just really grabbing me, pulling me back into that groove, and I just can't help but bob. Okay, back to this part.
This is the return of the space cowboy. Interplanetary.
Some nice color behind there with the synths, just doing some dissonance and kind of rub on those notes. And so far, the synths have just been giving this whole song a very cloud, just upper lifting feeling. Again, the bass tone makes that possible to me. It just has this very relaxed, dry, kind of jazzy sound. Really, really cool. I want to go back to when this first little bass break starts just a couple seconds ago here and catch that. I love the way they are, or this bass player is dividing up the phrasing. It has this very A, B, A, C kind of thing. So it's returning to the dun 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 dun. A, B, A, C is kind of the way it sounds like he's breaking it up. I want to point out the importance of the B part in here. It stuck out to me. It's one note different that he played that allows this passage to feel like it's going to continue. Yeah, it was that one. That's the C. A, B, A, C, whatever it might be. Okay, so real quick, it sounds like it's going. So kind of doing that minor walk down there. Going back to kind of the 1. That leading tone back down to the 1. On the B phrase, he does not do the leading tone, and he stays on what sounds like the 3, the minor third. And that one note different is kind of like, okay, I'm not done. I'm not done with this phrase or this passage. I'm going to do it again and kind of give you a variation of what I did before. So if I play A, B, A back to back, there's one note difference that's very effective. He stays on the minor third. It's just this like little like nod of like, I'm going to continue. I'm not finished yet. That's how it speaks to me. And changing one note like that in a repetitive phrase can actually elongate the entire musical idea. At least that's how it comes across to me. It kind of lets my ear know that he's going to do it again, but a different variation. Really cool part. Really subtle stuff. I know I'm getting really nitty gritty here, but these are the things I'm trying to listen for. It's like, okay, gonna keep going. I don't know. Really grabbing me. Oh! That's the filthiest one I've heard in this song yet. That little, just bouncing around in the upbeats. Ooh, something like that. Bass. I'm trying not to stop on every bass fill. Okay, again, I would love to stop and break down each one of these fills. They're all different. They all offer just like a nod at like a different phrasing, something else that has happened. Some favoring the more of the melody. It's kind of more linear, and some are just really following the upbeats. Again, with that really pocket hi-hat. I'm just going to sum up those last few bass fills because, again, this would be a 4-hour video. This song is, like I said earlier, it's proving to be a dictionary of like every bass fill possible. I am fully confident if you as a bass player sat down and worked out a song like this or this song, I'm confident it would increase your vocabulary tenfold. Really understanding what a bass player like this is thinking about doing those fills, whether they're written out, whether they're improvised. The vocabulary is what's important. That's the common thread here. And to do either of them is equally as impressive. To come up with those different phrasings, somehow make it glue everything together, or even better, just to improvise them, and that's just what comes out innately. Improving your vocabulary is super important. This song, like out of any song I've done on this channel so far, this is kind of the only one I've done like this, with a lot of this just varied, just very intellectual vocabulary and phrasing. I'm speaking very highly. This is right up my alley. I love this stuff. I love rock and metal, but it's refreshing to go back and hear this kind of funk, old school kind of sound, and just the bass is like the lead guitar. There's guitar here, maybe some synths. I've heard other Jamiroquai songs with guitar, but in this genre and for this band, the bass is like the lead guitar. It's almost like a guitar player listening to a Van Halen song for the first time. It's like, where do you start? You could stop every 3 bars and find something cool Eddie Van Halen did. This is like that for the bass. Really, really neat. That was such an interesting phrasing. It's kind of, he like kept the note up high. I can't even recreate it. Kind of like that thing where he's kind of going down the scale, skipping a little bit further and creating those intervals. I'm going to listen to that one more time. We're going to let this play because I'm going to get caught up on the nuance. But man, this is super cool. This fill. Hold on. Just go back and listen to that on your own. So good. The staccato notes.
Now this is the return of the space cowboy. Good times, hot times, good vibes, all interplanetary.
See, that's the varied nature. I gotta stop and point that one out. You notice the bass fill he did before goes. He just did those 2 staccato notes, whatever the notes were. Rhythmic. Then this next fill, he kind of held out some long notes and went. That duality is the summary of this song, in my opinion. Just ebbing and flowing between the melodic side of the song, guitars, keys, synths, pads, and favoring the drums every now and then. This is what glue means as a bass player right here. Let me see if I can find where those were. Okay, right there, that little blah-la-la-da. So effective. That was tight. Those upbeat unison there. Does this fade out?
On this interplanetary level.
Ooh, the hi-hats have like a phaser on them. Oh, we still got a minute of the song. That's the first time I've heard him kind of use the flat 5 in there in that little blues part. Haven't really heard that stick out yet. I feel like that was really intentional. Just a little bit of color thrown in, kind of nodding at that flat 5. Nice B flat minor. Caught me off guard. Listen to that complete sweep of dynamics there. That little bass fill that brought it all back in. It's like the entire bass fill was like a complete crescendo, like mezzo piano, pianissimo, all the way to like mezzo forte, just really, really fast. Really like this. Listen for this bass fill. Listen how the gradient of the notes, how they blossom. Expert level stuff. That synth's going wild. That over the bar line fill. Just every bass fill is like a different piece of candy to me. I just can't get enough. This song has not felt like 6 minutes long. That over the bar line. Oh, I love the switch to this kind of ride cymbal thing. Kind of hollowed it out to the end. Wow. Ha. Let me tell you what. It's like almost overwhelming. Like I'm kind of flabbergasted listening to this because there's just so much going on. Again, it's just like listening to a 6-minute Van Halen guitar solo, to make that analogy again. It's like you'd have to go every bar and break it down and understand what's going on and to wrap your mind around. And of course, these videos are very broad stroke, analyzing what I'm hearing. I'm doing my best to catch the nuances that stand out to me, but there's so much to unearth in a song like this. And this is, I like Jamiroquai, you know, the songs I'm more familiar with, more of their later work. I thought the bass stuff was fantastic. I've not checked out this end of their 1990s era albums. And if it's all like this, I've got to listen to this full album. This is just crazy. This is like a treasure chest. Like you just open it up and there's so much to go through. Every little bass fill was different. I think the most impressive thing is to have that much variation in one's bag of tricks as a bass player. This wasn't a ton of key changes where you could just recycle the bass fills in a different key and get a different effect. I mean, this is all within that same vamp. dun, 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 fill A, and then 3 minutes later, fill Z. We're starting the alphabet over at A A B B. I mean, I can't say enough about it. I'm just gonna keep rambling in awe of how cool this of a listen this was. The feel, the variety. I don't know what else to say. This is great. I just don't hear a lot about this band anymore. I almost kind of forgot about them until someone commented them with a request. But wow, great. This was an awesome listen. I almost, as a nerdy bass player, want to go back and just learn all the bass fills to expand my own vocabulary. There's so much to draw from here. Thank you for whoever requested this. I would love to do more Jamiroquai. So much to dissect. And I appreciate you guys. Please give this video a thumbs up. Comment what else you'd like to see. Again, I know I do a lot of rock and metal, but this stuff sometimes comes in and surprises me. And I just love covering great playing for any genre. Please make sure you're subscribed. I appreciate you guys so much, and I look forward to chatting with you all in the comments. And again, I read them all if I don't respond. Your support means the world to me. Thank you guys again. Cheers. We'll see you next time.